Hello, race fans, and we are back with another Race Face Drive in 5 podcast here on raceface.tv. Jacob Seelman with Colton Kelly this time, who's back with us fresh off of a couple of pretty big accomplishments. So, Colton, since the last time that we talked, you have cinched up Pro Truck Rookie of the Year honors at Mobile International Speedway and clinched a top five finish, fourth in the track point standings for the year. I'll talk more about what that means in a minute in your rookie season. But first, the Lee Fields Memorial, the last points race of the year, was little over a week ago now. You had a top three finish in that race to get all the honors that you've ended up with. Take me through the race. Started a little deeper than I know you wanted to, but really had a good truck that could help you work your way forward.
Yeah, and qualifying, we didn't do too hot. We qualified seventh. We missed the invert, which is where the top six roll a dice, and wherever the dice lands on, the top six get inverted. We missed that, and I had to end up starting seventh, so fourth row inside. And I worked my way up through the field. We had one caution, and that put me fourth, starting on the restart. I almost cleared third place on the restart, but I had to battle him for a little bit. Then Grant Thompson and Stephen Davis, they were side by side practically the entire race. It was a really good race to go watch. And I slowly gained on him and caught him. And I tried going around Stephen Davis, but I couldn't do it. So ended up with the third place that weekend. It was a really good points weekend. It was actually double points, so I got two thirds that weekend. And I clinched fourth in the points and rookie of the year. So feels really good. I'll they exploded my expectations this year in points. I thought I was gonna probably get last, but did really good this year and really, really proud of it.
I'm curious because you mentioned the second half of that race, kind of having a front row seat to that battle between Grant and Steven, even as you were kind of catching them just a little bit. And with Grant having been kind of a mentor of yours in some ways over this process, what was that like just to be able to sit behind those two? And as much as you're trying to catch them, I'm sure also being able to learn a little bit from watching what they were doing ahead of you.
I learned a lot of how like they like to pass people, how they just run their line when they're passing it. I learned a whole lot just watching those guys. They're the two best pro truck racers probably in the Southeast right now. And when you get to have a front row seat and just see what they're doing, you really want to capitalize on it and you don't want to waste that opportunity.
Is that one of those moments when you did catch Steven where maybe you mentioned you had one shot to make a move? Was that a case maybe where discretion was the better part of valor, so to speak, where maybe it was better to not force the issue too much and risk coming home with a wrecked race truck?
I could have easily gotten a wreck with them. I could have bumped them out of the way. I want to be smart. There's no reason to wreck the truck for a second place finish. We've already locked up points. We're just trying to have fun and learn this year. And there's no reason for me to go out there and rough up on some people that don't need to be roughed up on, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. I know looking ahead, you've got fourth in points, rookie of the year. Before we talk about where you're headed to race next, you mentioned that this kind of blew your expectations for the year out of the water. When you sit and think about what you've just accomplished, I mean, how cool is this for for a teenager who came into this year going, okay, maybe we can learn, maybe by the end of the year we'll have something. You've been racing against a lot of really top guys all year long.
Yeah, Stephen Davis has won every single race except for that last weekend's race, both at Pensacola and Mobile. And just to be side by side with him for half a lap means a whole lot to me and how much I've gained and learned over the course of this year. And I think that just goes to show how much I have learned.
Mhm.
And being able to catch those guys, even though that they're slowing each other down, going side by side, even though they're doing race and battle and whatever they're doing, it was very monumental to me. It meant a lot to me. It's probably my favorite race of all year.
It's a big stepping stone, I would say for you for sure. Just like you mentioned, to kind of showcase some of the progress you've made. Get to showcase hopefully a little bit more of that coming up on Friday night. You're headed back to Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. Really for the first time since the race you had way back in the spring that did not go according to plan, left you with a wrecked race truck for a bit. What are you hoping to get out of going back to Pensacola this week outside of just let's get to the finish with a clean truck? What else are you hoping to get out of this week?
Well, Five Flags is the track that I have the least amount of experience on. I've probably only have a couple hundred laps there compared to Mobile, where I probably have like 1,000 laps there right now. I'm a little nervous just because of what happened last race there. Um, yeah,
One of those moments where it's hard to
yeah.
put into words what to expect just because you did have such a short time is there anything you remember from that first race that you feel like may help you, or has there been so much go on since then that it's kind of hard to put a gauge on some of that?
I remember that race very vividly, and I know what I need to do now to order to prevent what happened. I just need to put that into terms and actually execute and not mess up and hit the wall. Just I don't want to end up with a broken race truck again. That was not a good night, but still even that night we learned a whole lot and just how to critique the racecraft.
For fans that maybe watch but don't necessarily know the full picture, they're both half-mile racetracks, but what makes racing Pensacola different than racing Mobile?
Well, on Mobile, the back straightaway wall is non-existent. It's not until 100 yards out. But on Pensacola, it's a full wall. So if you, and it's a concrete wall too. If you even touch it, hit it, something, you're gonna mess up and you're gonna wreck. It's a little nerve-wracking to get up there in the wall, but I'm used to it. I used to race quarter midgets, and you have to be next to the wall, practically hitting it every lap. I'm used to that. It's just a matter of not hitting it and making sure you're clear of the car inside of you.
It's a big 2 weeks for you. You race Pensacola Friday night, and then there's a special non-points race that's the season finale for Mobile coming up a week from Saturday. Is this, you know, does that take a little bit of the pressure off now that points are locked up? You can just kind of go into Mobile, a track that you're familiar with, and know that, hey, we can focus on speed and getting close, trying to get closer to victory lane and not have to stress quite so hard about protecting our points position.
You would think so, but not really. All year we haven't been chasing points, and really, I barely even looked at it. I've just figured out that I finished fourth a couple weeks ago. It was never really a stress for me, but it definitely is a lot. It definitely relieves a lot more stress on me. That way, I don't have to be pressured even more than I am already.
Sure.
I think that's a good thing, and it sucks that, I'm kind of mad that I finished one spot out of third, and I wish I had one more race to do it, but it's all right. It was a great year, and just happy to go to Pensacola.
I'm going to tell you something. When you're frustrated about a top five finish in points, that's motivation. That's not frustration for
No.
you. With as good a season as you've had, Colton. And I know there's a lot of people that are proud of you and a lot of people that have made what you do possible. Why don't you give them some shout outs and thank yous and supporters?
I want to thank Pair of America. I want to thank Southern Drywall and Acoustics, Southern Protection Agency, JJC Electrical, Construction Services, and Thompson's. They've been helped out so much. I mean, it means a lot to me. The Lord, I couldn't be here without them. My family, just taking me from point A to point B.
I'm curious, real quick, because you have spent a lot of time learning and talking to Grant. Is there any one piece of advice that you've gotten from him or from John that's really stuck with you this season?
They've said so many good things to me. It's a list. I can't thank them enough. They've taught me a lot about big cars, and it's completely different than little go-kart things that I used to race. They've been a super great help this year, and it's gonna suck to not see them anymore, but we'll still be at the track with them, that's for sure.
Absolutely. That's Colton Kelly. My name is Jacob Seelman. This has been another Race Face Drive in 5. And as we mentioned, Colton's next race going to be Friday night, Five Flags Speedway, Pensacola, Florida on Racing America. For those that want to tune in, we'll see you next time.